song. It wasn't right or wrong anymore. The palette was colorless. I demanded a little more red, a little more dread, something to push me into tomorrow. I'm sorrow without the notes that support. Cohort to that hadn't found birth yet. And yet I'm waging in this egg of despair, waiting for it to crack. So we're all there. My name's Joel and I improvise. So I did jury duty today. Anybody do jury duty in their lives? I don't mean the personal little palette you write on before you rise. I mean with others, strangers in different colorations, all of nations waiting to find justice in the act that they will do. Nothing without spirit, everything with jurisprudence, and an act of virtue, all wrapped up in the life you thought you didn't have, and the sadness goes out as the clarion call comes for you to vote for something right. Oh, babies, ain't it sweet when you meet that which doesn't have a cloud of despair? Isn't it wonderful to be with your brothers and sisters doing something that feeds the air with something good? Goodness, what will that do to your dream that night? Well, of course, I sit there and I hear these stories of murder. Murdered Daddy Wise because Mommy's eyes were too far open. Brother Wise was encrypted by some sort of sniper. Before he could find peace, he was a decrepit sense, deteriorating before the eyes that would not relent, and then just died. And oh my God, how sweet it is to see those in skirts of passion stand before a judge who is a raconteur of right and wrongs, telling their song and then being pushed away into tomorrow's deep, dark mystery. And there I am. My history still takes precedent over all this pain. How can I venture into this realm of saying what's right or wrong if my song is so self-centered? If there's nothing to step for, nothing even to gain, I am filled with shame over my sense of being more important than the crime. Oh, babies, what you gonna do when the alarm goes off and you have to say something positive about your heart? When you thump on your empty chest and hope for a transplant to push you through in tomorrow's new light? How much of the dream will be remembered? Do you wake at 3 a.m. and write down in your hieroglyphic need your Freudian speed to look for God's eyes? Are you there to remember so that when you awake in this September of newness, you're filled with something beatific? Well, I got out of jury duty because a job came up later in the week. I had to double speak to the judge. I had to let the judge know, hey, I've had a tough year. For all those to judge me now, I had to leave my seat of cushion and despair, take my excuse. On to the underground I went, feeling like vermouth before the drink rings true. I spent 3 days thinking about me, dreaming about you. Oh, thanks for the cough of regret. A little tubercular standing ovation, a net in which I find myself falling constantly. Am I new for this thing, or will I be forgotten eagerly? Well, what do I want out of this systematized sense of righteousness? I want what we all want. I want to be loved. Oh, babies. Even in the most ruptured sense of someone else's pain, I can see the egg hatch. I can see there's no gain here. I can see the thing of life will not find its appetite. And yet I can't step away from it being about me. Oh, babies, am I too ambitious? Was my toilet training so officious it left me without a sense of relief? Am I the thief in my own heart? Do I fall apart before the bell rings, the welcoming sign, the Ben Franklin eye, the new design? Who knows? Who cares for it? Here's the deal. William Blake, you know William Blake? 16th century poet, or Bette Midler. This is the deal, the feel you think you are, the star you want to crack before the sky goes dark. You want to be Las Vegas with its wages beyond your grasp? where this man whose vessel of impertinence finds a sky and lights it up with God's eyes and sleeps with angels. Well, I was up that night, double fight again. How am I going to face the day if I can't get enough sleep? I turn on the TV and there's Bette Midler from Las Vegas. Well, I closed the book. I stopped writing and infighting whether I'm worth anything at all, and the stall sheds all its light. Bette's out there, kicking and brewing a new light. The poet is deep in its own recession, looking for something in the darkness to find not only light, but purpose in this life. William never got a standing ovation, as Bette Midler did. So you have to choose the black and blues or the lovely rhinestones of fate, when all you really want is to be loved. Well, I turn off the TV and I brew myself something that I will not be able to repeat in the morning. The light was too great for me. I opened the blinds and there was this face of design pointing at me, pushing me into the new day. Well, I leave you with this thought. Reach for it. Be the breach between doubt and sufficiently. And for one more wrinkle of life, say hip hip hooray and bite. Good night.